there was certainly a lot of hype beforehand, but no real change on the political scene after former special counsel Robert Mueller's testimony before House committees.
Phil Matier and Melissa Caen spoke about last week's hearings with former State Assembly Speaker and San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown.
Well, congratulations. You survived it. We all survived it. The great Robert Mueller appearance before Congress. Mayor Brown, was this the same guy that walked into your office 20 years ago when you wanted to be the director?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, time has taken its toll on him. He really has altered his conduct, and it's unfortunate because the Democrats had placed so much. Literally, if they were in Vegas, it would have been all in the House, and they would have lost.
Well, I have to say, too, in his defense, the Democrats were rattling off question after question, going, isn't it true on page 951, paragraph 2? I think it would be difficult for anyone to keep up with that, especially someone so meticulous. And Republicans wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise anyway.
Why was it so poor? Melissa's got a great point. If you have the whole nation watching, why was it this rapid fire, yes or no type setup?
Phil, if you've never been on television before in your life, and there was a reason why you've never been on before, and you've rehearsed that moment you're going to have on television, and it's only going to be a moment, you don't care what surrounds it. You go ahead and do your
these individual
moment.
Congress people were so interested in having their individual rapid fire moment and looking to that.
Absolutely, that is exactly. And they go back to Idaho or wherever they came from and proceed to play it regularly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so a lot of the times he was cut off. He would go to answer a question and they would just steamroll over him.
When and many times it was clear that he had some difficulty figuring out where the question was coming from, and he had some difficulty figuring out what the sound was, which means maybe he shouldn't have been there at all.
Okay, do the Democrats have anybody that can take this further? Anybody with the personality, the brains, the charisma to get America to keep paying attention to this?
Well, you don't know, Phil, because you had 25 people up there so far, and I have yet to be interviewed.
In our next half hour, Phil and Melissa will talk again to Mayor Brown about this week's debate amongst the top Democratic presidential contenders. The next debate amongst major Democratic presidential contenders will be in Detroit this Tuesday and Wednesday.
A preview now with our own Phil Matier and Melissa Caen, plus former State Assembly Speaker and San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown.
All right, hold on to your seats, folks, because this week we have the second, number 2, Democratic presidential debate. First question is, who are they talking to, and will anybody be watching?
I don't know if anybody will be watching. Let's get that straight. But they will be talking, frankly, to Democrats whom they assume will show up in the primary. So far, they have not figured out that they're running for the presidency. They have focused on running for the nomination.
Melissa, is this make it or break it time for Joe Biden? I mean, the last time he came across, people said weak, fuzzy, stuff like that. Does he have to prove himself?
Well, remember, so he's very far ahead, so he could lose some points and still be ahead. And remember, delegates are given to the highest vote getter, not the majority vote getter. So he could still be safe. The question is, will somebody overtake him? It really isn't a matter of him sitting there in a vacuum. Will somebody else rise up and try to surpass him, somebody like an Elizabeth Warren, for example?
And in this case, it's almost like the Indy 500. There's nobody else on the same lap with Biden. He's rolling by himself. So when you talk about overtaking, you first got to get on the same lap.
Okay.
Well, that's true.
One final thing. If Biden is ahead, okay, and he's just going to maintain the speed, then the next person up to overtake is Bernie. So does he come? When is it his turn in the barrel?
Well, so Bernie is going to be on Tuesday night. It'll be him, Elizabeth Warren, and Pete Buttigieg on the stage. So he's not going to be on the stage with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris again. So he's going to have to be dealing with Elizabeth Warren, who is really eating up a lot of his support.
My advice to Bernie, you had your place in the sun 4 years ago. Step up and offer these newcomers, in particular the 2 newcomers, Peter, the man from South Bend, and Elizabeth from the Harvard classroom. Give those 2 young people the opportunity that you enjoyed 4 years ago. You're no longer running against Hillary, Bernie, and therefore you're not relevant.